guys. So I just wanted you guys to hear Reverend I Ain't Never Scared Sunday service from Easter. Well, I'm not getting ready to play the service. I'm just going to play you a snippet of what he was saying because he was saying a whole bunch of stuff, child. But I just need y'all to listen to this.
Those of y'all who are from the suburbs, those of y'all that come from a gated community, those of you who live out yonder, you ain't gonna understand this example. But when I used to live with my grandmother in the projects of New York, y'all ain't saying nothing. I discovered something that roaches only start running when you turn the lights on. As long as the lights are out, they gonna be comfortable eating your cereal. Y'all ain't saying nothing, climbing in your cupboard. But when you turn the light on, all of the roaches gotta start moving. I came to give a warning. Elon Musk, the light is getting ready to come on. Donald Trump, the light is getting ready to come on. J.D. Vance, the light is getting ready to come on. MAGA, the light is getting ready to come on. Welcome, because the roaches will check in, but they won't check out. The lights are coming on.
It took me a couple takes to really get this video up because we're almost going on a whole week from, tomorrow, right? It'll be a week since he said all this nonsense. And he really was saying a lot of nonsense. And I'm not even trying to send you guys to it. I'm here to tell you that I'm sure there's other content creators who cover church service here on YouTube discussing it as well. It was very disturbing on so many levels. Number one, you're in a black church, or you're in a church that you didn't even start. Number one, it was Eddie Long's church, right? And he came here to take over as the pastor, bishop, whatever he is. I don't know, don't care. And so, these churches, in particular in Atlanta and these southern states, these black churches were built by black money. Like, black people help you build these churches. And so, because Marvin Sapp was over there talking about tithing. That's what closed the door service that he had going on. But I'm not going to get on him. And so Jamal started going off into all this stuff about roaches. And usually when people are trying, these people who have money or whatever, when they start trying to talk down to low-income people, they start bringing up roaches. However, he should look in the mirror, then look at a roach, look in the mirror, then look at a roach, and, figure that out. And then it also almost sounded threatening to me, but, if the people he's talking about don't care, then I don't, right? It was just, he was saying so much nonsense. It's like, wow, I can't believe I'm hearing this, but it's pretty clear, and I've already said this a few times, I feel like he's being paid. D.L. Hughley, all the people that are still talking, and they're still aggressive and still talking crazy. You're defending it in an uproar for someone who don't even belong to the black community, but then it's so much injustice that go on in this country around our community. I ain't never heard him open his mouth and say or do anything, or that attempt to do anything about it. But now you out here leading a boycott for other people, because DEI was not for us, and I've already explained that, and you guys can look it up yourself in whatever city you're in. And if you have not been hearing about it from any other black person, then clearly it was not involving us. Okay, we're only hearing about it because of that election. It was put in place, but it was never put in place to involve you or any American, like I said before, to be really honest. So you're sitting in this black church, which looks like a black population, but then, they may not be American, and I get that. And you're saying all this stuff for other people, and then you start talking about if other black people see you and don't start smiling at you, that you think you're in some type of battle with, I guess, don't start smiling at you, don't speak to you, don't ask you for no picture. I mean, the level of foolery that's in this service, child. The level of foolery. It's a lot. I was gonna say it's mind blowing, but it's not really. It's not really. I'm not surprised at all, because I understand that he is getting paid to try to throw people off from what's real, what's really going on. Um, yeah, and I just find it disturbing that somebody would do that, go into a black church and start, um, acting like somebody who was in their rightful country, because that man is in his rightful country. And like another gentleman that's in the media was saying, even if he comes back, he's still going to get deported. So you guys are putting up this big fuss and fight for somebody that's still going to get deported anyway, because at the end of the day, he did not have citizenship in this country. And nobody's just getting ready to hand him citizenship because y'all in an uproar. Y'all should have been doing that when y'all girl was in office. See, when she was in office, and the Asian man, I mean the Indian, well he is Asian, the Indian man, he said that. He said that that's why the Indian community was not voting for her, because they were asking her for citizenship, and she did not help them. You see, so you guys are not taking your battles up with the right people. First of all, you're making up stuff, you're lying, and you're calling yourself a man of God, and you're doing this in the church building. If you guys heard the service, let me know what y'all think about all of that in the comments. First of all, nobody's going to ask you for no picture. You're not nobody. You're no Joseph E. Lowry. You're no John Lewis. You're no Dr. King. You're no Jesse Jackson. You're none of these people. And all the countless black folk and other people who put their life on the line during that civil rights movement and before, in this country. You're none of that. Okay? And trying to, you and Crash Out Crockett tie these people walking over here to people being enslaved is beyond crazy. It's beyond crazy. Okay, so nobody's coming up to you asking you for no picture. Don't wait on that. Hot pink on, child. You probably couldn't tell him nothing to somebody coming up to him asking him for a picture. The jokes, child. Let me know what y'all thought about the service. I also wanted to just bring up Danny C of Chicago Flips Red, because I was able to catch the clip of her going up to Capitol Hill to speak up for the black community in Chicago. And she's, those girls in Chicago Flip Red, honey, I guess Chicago said, we not playing about it, and they have the heart to stand up and do that. She went up there and she was saying how black people in these communities, they don't know what's going on. They don't feel safe because they don't know who's around them. The whole job situation, people losing their homes and their apartments because rent is rising, and all of these things that just so happen to go into place when all these people started coming to these cities. She was talking, and then here come Crash Out Crockett talking about how Trump is a felon, which this is what she does every time. She just changed the subject. She don't ever address the actual topic. Rarely as it is that anybody get to even try to ask her anything. You can't ask her nothing. So she started going off into Trump as a felon, which had nothing to do with what Danny was up there talking about. And the only person that really stood up for Danny, or was in agreement with her or asking her questions to get her story out, was one gentleman. He was a Republican gentleman, and I appreciate him doing that, and I appreciate her doing that too, because it's not just Chicago, it's all these cities that they did that to, all of them. And the fact that people would say that they're okay with seeing a very small city, because Atlanta is a small city. Atlanta is not a big, huge city. Atlanta was a small city that had a large black population at one time. And so for you to take the ability for black people to have some level of comfort, to have somewhere to come to try to make it away from us, and think that shit is cute, and think somebody gonna be running up to you to get a picture like you some fucking body, is beyond me. It's mind blowing. You might get cussed out. You might get cussed out here. Anybody's coming to ask you for a picture. And if they are filming you or taking pictures of you, it's not for the reasons that you probably think. But let me know what y'all thought about his service if you were listening to it. I would say go over there and listen to it, but it's on the church page here on YouTube, but that thing is like 4 hours, child. You got to skip into it, and I think it's at the 2 hour mark when he actually comes on, because it was the Easter service. If you want to listen to him, but he was saying a bunch of real just fool ass stuff. Like, I can't believe these people in Atlanta. I really can't. I'm sorry. Like, we'll never see the beautiful black people that we once had in this country ever again. I guess it's to each his own. Everybody gonna have to, do what they gotta do. But at some point, people are gonna realize what's going on around them. They don't really get it now, and then they have people out here lying to them. But it's going to, trust me, it's gonna change, and you gonna see it. But let me know if you guys caught any of that service. Marvin Sapp was talking crazy too, and then some other man, I don't even really know him, but he was talking about people gotta call him sir and all this nonsense. They really taking God out of these buildings. Oh yeah, that's what he said. Let me tell y'all this real quick. He said, like I said, he said a bunch of foolish stuff. I done forgot a whole bunch of stuff that he said now, but he said he was saying, he was doing all the hooping and hollering. If you ain't got no job, you ain't got no food to eat and all this stuff. The reason that he has favor is because he been through some stuff. So in other words, he's saying, if you're a black person and you're out here, you're going through something right now, don't worry about it. If you come out on the other side of it, you probably will have favor as well, right? And if that's not foolishness, I don't know what it is. What is? So you're out here. Let me get this straight. You out here fighting for these folks to get promoted, jobs, promotion, and security. So can't nobody do nothing to them or say nothing to them. Because that's what's in that DEI write-up. Go read that. That's why I keep telling people, go read that stuff and see what it's really about. It's not affirmative action whatsoever. They're trying to gaslight y'all to try to make the parallel between the stuff that black folks was fighting for and this stuff. But these people came over here on their own. They try to say that and then say that, well, y'all don't need no security because if y'all struggling, oh, well, don't nobody care. That's kind of how he sounded in that service. Go listen to that shit. I'm trying to tell y'all, like, the nerve of you. They sit and ask people every week for 10% of their salary, the ones that are working or probably just have money, 10% of their salary, to turn around and say something to people in that community. And just because somebody in my family might be doing well don't mean everybody in my family doing well. You understand? So yeah, you can't talk to me like that. Please read into the shit people saying to you. So if DEI was about you, he wouldn't be up there saying that shit. Because they would be protecting jobs for you. Because these people is playing in y'all face in the worst kind of way. And it's really sad to watch. But, you can't, only thing you can do, what's that old saying, is bring a horse to the water. You can't make their ass drink. Okay? So it is what it is. But yeah, if y'all heard the service, please let me know what you think about it in the comments. If you want to go over there to New Birth's YouTube, like I said, I think it starts at the 2 hour mark, and I'll see you guys in the next video.